Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach.
And I'm Mac.
And today we're going to be talking about, currently we have a list of 8 items. We'll see if we add
Think of
any
others.
throughout the chat here. But we're going to talk about 8 things that, now that we've gone to Gen Con for our first ever time, 8 things we would give as kind of tips, I guess, or things we would probably do in the future.
Because we're now experts.
Because we are now experts after, 2 full days and a partial day at Gen Con. We are fully experts. We don't have anything else to learn about it. But no, just some things that if we maybe would have done it differently or knowing now, maybe would have done different.
And if if you've been and you have other suggestions, leave them down in the comment below.
Yes,
Because
anything
we'd love
would be
to know.
helpful.
I'm sure we'll go back at some point, and I'd love to hack this thing.
Yeah, because I'm sure there are a lot of things going on at Gen Con that I'm not really even aware of. So yeah, if you've got some cool things that you know are cool spots to hit up to eat, good places to eat, that would be awesome as well. We went to a couple of good ones ourselves. So.
We did.
I guess the first thing is one we did do.
Yeah.
Is take a car if you're hoping to get a lot of games, and if you're close enough.
Yeah.
The drive was about like 9 or 10 hours for us.
Yeah.
And luckily we had 2 people drive. The other 2 of us around. We had 4 people total, but only 2 of us drove.
Well, we could have, yeah.
I would have been willing to drive a couple hours, but just the way it worked out, we did that. I think that's probably about the farthest I'd go. But if you're someone that really likes to drive, I think this is a fine one that you could drive to if you're hoping to get a lot of games, or we'll bring up one later if you're trying to sell maybe some of your games. It'd be a good way to do that versus maybe getting extra bags or something. I guess I don't even know how expensive that is. I don't know that I've ever checked like an extra bags on a plane or something. So maybe
then you got to worry about
expensive.
them like getting damaged, and I mean for us the flight would have only been like an hour or 2 at most, so kind of.
But then the car also allows you to kind of. I guess our hotel was
about 20
minutes away, so it allowed us to have that hotel and be able to drive and not need to get Ubered around and stuff. Although then you do have to go, find parking and stuff. But
it was
pros and cons to that.
Close, and we didn't really have a problem finding parking.
No. And I think it was roughly about $20 for the full days, and the other one we were paying. I think we were on the side of a street, luckily.
Yeah.
And that was a little bit cheaper than that, but that was.
Wasn't
only
too
for a
bad. Partial day, though.
Yeah, that's true. So that's one. I guess that one's kind of circumstantial.
Yeah.
But I think if you're close enough and you're someone that either wants to try to get rid of some of your games, a number of them, or buy a bunch of them, that is probably a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Then we go to the next one. If you, like myself, I guess I looked at kind of Board Game Geek, and they kind of had, I don't remember who put it together, but it's just kind of like a list of some of the games that are going to be there. It's not a full out list, but and then people kind of like it and stuff if they're interested in the specific games. So if there's any hot games that you are excited about or specifically want, I think I would say you definitely want to get there very early. Probably the doors opened at 10. I don't know if that's a typical thing. I think it probably is. It's when they usually open every year, but I would guess you probably have to get there at 9 or maybe earlier to be at the front of that line. And even then, that might not even necessarily mean you get it. But yeah, let us know in the comments below if you have the greatest tips to kind of for suring the games that are kind of the hotness or the ones you really want.
That was rough.
Because we only did that one day.
And it was like a sea of people down by the doors we needed to get to, and then like after a while though, people started sneaking up on like the left hand side because there's like an area marked off for cosplayers, but people just started to ignore that, and so I don't know, it was I don't have.
But we did not get there early on Thursday, and I wonder if it would have felt different then. I don't know if more of that would have been available, but I know some of the games, they have it like so many copies per day, so you might want to get there early and possibly often. I would think, I'm just guessing here, probably early Thursday and then Friday, and then after that, I mean, if there's games you still haven't gotten and you talk to you can usually talk to them and ask them if they're going to have more copies.
Yeah.
You can still try to do it, but I think those are probably going to be your best chances before they kind of sell out.
And
so just know that about your hot games.
Know where your booth is going to be for those too,
Yes.
because you want to get there as quick as possible, and there's a lot of people and a lot of booths and rows. So.
Because we got there at 9:30 on Saturday for one specific game, and I think they had 150 copies, and I felt like you rushed straight to just that. We were both trying to get there. And you were like 250th in line. So, just got to know that.
It was so maddening because I went to the booth first, and then it was like, lines back there, and I was like, well, and the line was like, it was in like row 2300, and I think by the time I was able to find the back of the line, I was at like 1800, so it was a long line.
Yep. But kind of to go along with that as another tip, don't wait if you really want a game. Or even like a specific Gen Con t-shirt. I would go early because kind of even if you think something won't sell out, there's a chance that it will. Yeah. So if you really want it, I think I would say to play on the safe side and just get it when you have the chance. But otherwise, kind of like all these, I'm assuming 99.9% of the games you're going to be able to get at some point. It just might be... for a lot of these, I'm guessing it's going to be probably 2 to 3 months down the road, which is totally fine too. But just if you really want to be kind of part of that hotness, I like the thought of trying to get these early. I think it's fun to me, and at the end of the day, if I don't get them, I know that I can eventually get them.
You came home with 15 others.
That is true. So luckily we brought the car, because that would not have happened if we had flown. I can assure you that.
Yeah.
But I think this next one might be, I might say it's the most important.
Okay.
Or close. Bring snacks and drinks in like a backpack, because, you can, at least as of this one, I don't know if they ever change the rules or whatnot, but you can kind of just bring whatever you want in.
And I wasn't sure, like, I tried checking their policies before, but like typically at these things I would guess you couldn't bring in external things, but there was no problem. Like, you could bring food in, you could bring water in, like, so for us, like, when we wanted to just keep walking through the day, it was nice to have, like, we had like Cliff Bars, so we would just like have a snack or two. They have water fountains, and we tried to fill up water bottles. It wasn't like the best thing ever.
I think a lot of people probably had, I think a lot of people were using that, and they were not the greatest. They didn't have much power left in them, but I think a lot of people were using them.
Yeah, we tried to fill up before we left the hotel for the day. You could always use like bathroom sink water if you really needed to. I just didn't. But we were able to scrape by. I like to drink a lot of water, and that's one thing, if you don't have to buy it or whatever, then it's one less thing. But you do have to carry it around then.
Right.
Run the whole day. But it would have just been nice, because we did have some big meals like at the end of the day sometimes, and I really didn't. We were eating breakfast at our hotel, and so like we probably didn't need like a bigger lunch, and so just getting by on like snackies was just fine.
Because
and if I would have known, I would have brought better and more snacks probably.
Right. Yeah. But there's definitely places you can eat too if you want to do that. Just know that it's kind of like if you're going to any sports game or anything, it's gonna run you a pretty large amount. So it's. I think we went to the food trucks once, which was really good food.
It was so good,
but it was like very small portions.
It was.
And then we got 2 cans, and it was like $30.
It was.
So I mean. It was spendy, but it was good.
And we had concessions like right there on the main floor of the convention center that one day. We just had like a pretzel, 2 pretzels. And what did that come to? Like $15 to $20 or something?
It was like 20 something.
Yeah. So it's quite a lot. So you want to make sure you budget for it or pack accordingly now that we've told you.
Exactly. But depending on how much walking you plan on doing, if you're going to go through the exhibit hall quite a bit, or just around the Gen Con area, because there's a lot of places you can go. It's a lot of walking. I would definitely recommend bringing some good shoes, some shoes that you've already gotten broken in, because I think probably over the 2.5-ish days, we probably walked like, I don't know,
probably
20, 30 miles probably.
Yeah,
25,
it
30.
was like 50,000 steps, I think, by the end. Because
Mhm.
I did 20,000 on Saturday and 17 on Friday, and I think probably 10 on Thursday.
So yeah, so especially if you're gonna go all 4 days, that's gonna really add up
Hmm.
to quite a bit. Um, but yeah,
And I think probably, depending on how you go to Gen Con, one of these next ones, maybe you won't do as much walking if you're smarter than us and schedule some things
Yes.
to do and get yourself a chair.
yes, that is the next thing that I've got on this list. So for this one, all we scheduled was that first night, which
first
we got there late anyway. So
Late.
we hadn't done as much
No,
walking that day
we've
because
been in
we'd
a
been
car
riding.
for 6 hours.
Right, so kind of standing up was something we probably wanted to do, but yeah, so scheduling, I
Yeah.
think either one or two things a day
Mhm.
would be right for me. I guess everyone's going to probably have their preferences. Maybe
Yeah.
some people are going to want to schedule a lot of things, but I would say as first timers, when we looked at that Gen Con list, I just knew of the Dice Tower Awards one,
Uh-huh.
so that's why I could specifically look for that.
Yeah.
But when we were just looking at the whole list in general, there's like 2,000-3,000 events you could sign up for.
You just kept
It's
scrolling,
just
and it
overwhelming.
was like Thursday 9 a.m. Like 50 entries for Thursday at 9 a.m. And I was like, or 10 a.m. whatever it was. But I was like,
Hmm.
But I didn't realize either that you have to get tickets for like the demos and tickets for, I mean, literally anything but the exhibit hall requires tickets to do. Like, they might be free tickets, they might cost like a couple extra dollars, but you still need a ticket to do it.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I don't think I
that's-
realized that. So
Yeah, and that was one thing I wasn't really sure of, and I didn't want us to like schedule things and then feel like rushed because I wasn't really sure where things necessarily were, and
Mhm.
like, oh, am I gonna have to, be at whatever. It just would add kind of some extra stress that
Yeah.
I didn't want for first time
time.
going there. But yeah, now looking back at it, I would probably try to look up, if I knew a publisher was bringing like a hot game or demoing it, I would probably try to look specifically for probably at least one of those per day that I planned on being there,
Yeah.
just to have something, but not. I probably at the same time wouldn't go and like schedule. I'm scheduling this and then this and then this and then this like back to back to back because
Yeah.
I think that also wouldn't be as good
right.
for me personally.
Yeah.
Maybe some people out there would like that, but I think that could also have a fact of being overwhelming.
Maybe do it later, like do one like early afternoon and maybe mid afternoon. That way, like you have time to go buy more books or games and then come back and put the bag down for a little while.
That's true.
Rest your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, then another thing that we went to, and I'm assuming they always have this, there's like this consignment area that's, at least for this year, was in kind of a hotel that's attached to kind of the main hall area.
Yeah, it was in the Marriott. I think it's also connect to like the Westin Hotel, but
Yeah.
it was the Marriott that we went to for the consignment. So
Yes. So, yeah, it's kind of a little off the beaten path, so if you don't really, aren't really aware of it, because, I feel like
my
was it
brother's been twice.
Your brother
and he
knew of it?
didn't he found out about it this year.
Oh, I guess, yeah. So, yeah, if we hadn't heard about it, we would have had no
Yeah.
idea that was a thing.
It's a great idea.
But yeah, so I don't know exactly what you have to do to sell your games there, but from the looks of it, you can kind of choose to either have your game auctioned off, I believe, or you can have like a set price that just never changes, or you can even do the option of like Thursday, I'll sell it for 50, Friday I'll sell it for 40, and Saturday I'll sell it for 25. So if you're really trying to get rid of it, by Saturday you have it way cheaper. And then it kind of is a game on the other side of things. If you're wanting to buy it, you're like, I could wait till Saturday and see if I can get it for half the price, but then obviously someone else could buy it before you, either Saturday or Friday or even that Thursday. So that's kind of a little bit of push your luck game too. But it's a way to maybe get some used, cheaper games that you're looking for. Or we didn't really listen to the auction part, so I don't really know what they were all auctioning off. I know when we were there, they were talking about like some
major
person
collector had
Yeah.
decided to get rid of their collection, and it was
So-
like, you have never seen this before.
I don't
It's
know.
like, Whoa, maybe we should go to the auction.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that all the things are like
Yeah.
that, where
No.
they almost made it sound like it's high value collectibles or something. But yeah, so there's that as well. So I definitely recommend checking that out.
And the
kind of going
consignment store is open later than the actual exhibit hall too, which is really nice.
So you can go there after
So.
after that's closed, because that closes at 6. So that is something. They make it very obvious and stuff on their website, but it just feels kind of weird at the time because that feels still relatively early.
Yeah.
Especially
considering
it works.
the
I mean, it's plenty of
stuff.
time. I mean, it's 8 hours still that it's open, so it's not like it's a short amount of time. It just feels weird because it's like it feels like it's barely going after the normal workday. But I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the last thing I have here is kind of a tip, kind of not. I think it. So you can go to Lucas Oil Stadium, and they've got. And that's another thing you can probably sign up for as events is there's tournaments there, but there's also kind of an open gaming area, but you need tickets for that as well. We didn't actually go in and play anything, but I think in the future I'd maybe schedule one day in my head to kind of go there because I think that remains open as well after the exhibit hall closes. So I'd maybe probably plan one day that I would go there and kind of see. I didn't get a look at what they actually have there for a collection, but it looked like they had a large number of games there, so you could probably play that, play some different things, try them out.
Yeah.
But yeah. Has this made you think of anything else?
I was thinking it's probably pretty obvious, but like backpack.
No.
Yeah, if you're planning to get like one game, maybe two, maybe a small one, you probably could just buy with like any old backpack. For us, we have what's now like All Play. They have like these square game bags that double as like you have backpack straps on them. So I would say if you're looking to get multiple games, they're pretty clutch. And I think you can get them from other companies too. There was I think probably 3 or 4 booths there that had different types of board game bags. And so if you really are looking to make a haul, I would probably recommend that because it was really convenient to just stack them in that thing and carry them around.
But some of the companies can give you kind of some of their advertising bags, pretty much. Where some of them are a little bit larger, but still.
Yeah, but you still have to like
nicer.
carry it in your hand, and
That's true.
we did the haul.
But then you also have to be careful.
Yeah.
With knocking people over. We may have done that accidentally.
To be fair, a lot of people
really
have those bags, so and like everybody, because I wore it the majority of the time, everybody was super cool about it. Like if I accidentally nudged someone, like
they acted cool.
The halls, like they're packed.
There's
nothing you can do like to not hit people sometimes.
Well, I mean, that's just it. Even if you didn't have a backpack on, it's so crowded that it's. Yeah.
And like so half the time people were bumping into me just because that's like how crowded it was. Not that I was bumping into them.
That's another sort of tip or whatever. If you really do not like crowds of people, I don't know I don't know that this would be the convention for you. Yeah, there's some areas that are a little less crowded, but overall, kind of all the major places are pretty crowded.
The exhibit hall was just
if you don't
packed.
If you really dislike that, I would maybe suggest looking at other cons. We haven't really went to that many, so I don't have any specific recommendations. But that would be if that's a turn off for you, then I don't think that Gen Con's probably the convention for you.
And depending on how many days you're going to, one thing is like we went like 30 to 1 like up and down every hall, and then I think on Saturday, our last day, or I guess the second day, really our full day, we just kind of like went all over, and then we did like a quick like let's go back up and down all 30 without like really stopping unless we see something cool. And I thought that was I got more the second time through because we had stopped, watched some demos, probably got too many games after that, but I liked going through it twice. So I don't know what everyone's is, and if we would have had time for that had we done like demos or anything, but I thought that was a good way to re-see it all before we left.
Yeah, I would agree. But yeah, those are kind of our tips and things of what we do the next time we go to Gen Con. Like you said, leave comments below if you've got some extra tips or food places or any of that.
Next.
We're going to have to, just to remind ourselves. But yeah,
Future Mac, bring snacks.
Bring the snacks, Mac. But otherwise, we hope to see you on our other videos. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on our content.